I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, with liberty and justice for all. From your proud patriot, Mr. the Badwolf, James C Lovett, sometimes known as the Man in Black, but not today. I'm always wearing almond. We're going to be talking about the flag. Now, this probably will be the last time I cover the flag. I think we've pretty much gotten that to be an understanding. We went back in antiquity as far as we could go underneath the understanding that the gold fringe flag, though many of these officials will disagree with me, and that's completely fine. But here's the thing, they can't find any proof to show me otherwise, and I've been able to show proof that there is cause to have some type of concern here. Now, understand that when I was 9 years old and I was in Boy Scouts on my way to becoming an Eagle Scout, which I am, a military guy by the name of Leonard C. Brody, who was my scout master, informed me that the yellow fringed flag was in fact infringing on the United States of America. Now, I thought this was crazy. This is how I got started in this. And he ended up telling me that, no, you do not salute the gold fringed flag because that, in fact, is not American. It is the corporate flag of the District of Columbia. The United States Corporation under UCC 9-307 states that Section H, that the location of the debtors in DC, and DC is not one of the 50 states, it is its own territory. It's considered neutral to the United States of America and all of us people. That's why they put it there. Oh, it's neutral. Yeah, it's neutral to us, but somebody owns it. Now we know who owns it. We already talked about that, which represent the three major powers and the three stars on the state, on the flag. They have their own constitution. They do not partake in ours, though they are operating with us and they are operating the government as the seat of the government to oversee all things here. But by the Supreme Court ruling, multiple cases we've talked about now, the United States Corporation is in fact foreign to the United States of America. In relationship, they are in fact foreign. They're separate entities. Okay? So the real flag, which should be, well, I guess technically we're always at war, so we're actually using a type of war flag right now, but the stripes should be down and it should look different. That's the peacetime flag, but we haven't been at peace in a very long time. Peace don't make money. Peace fattens the lands, but it doesn't make money for the corporation. So we're always at war. Oh, and by the way, if you want to get one of these nice Badwolf hats right here, check out my Spreadshirt shop on Black Site 32 or look up the information down below. Whoa, 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 not over, not down below, right here. Hey, easy. So we now know that if you look at the Title IV flag, by the way, this is a very good book. This is what the peacetime flag should look like. Okay. The Title IV flag description on Cornell Law EDU will tell you the exact description of what the flag should look like. At least the wartime flag. That's the peacetime flag. We don't use that because who wants to be in peace? So the wartime flag does not have gold fringes on it. The Title IV flag, as described by law, supported by the Constitution, does not have gold fringes on it. The gold fringes represents the corporation. It represents a movable entity. That's why you'll never see the gold fringes being flown on a flagpole, because the flagpole represents it as being a solid, stable mount entity, which is the continental and the geographical United States. This is what we talked about, which I proved in the other video. So you will only see the gold fringe flag when someone's in a parade, meaning the movable corporation, not tied to the land. It will be in office buildings, certain office buildings, It'll be especially in courthouses because it also represents the military. Okay. Because the army and those various things represent the corporation. The corporation is running those things. Okay. So unless you see that, so there's two different divisions. You got America, the geographical, stable mounted, and then you've got the movable, which is the corporation. So two separate entities. All right. So my scoutmaster knew that because he was in the military. So he had their books. He read the codes. He knew all this stuff. And this is over 40 years ago, or almost 40 years ago now. And he would never let us, as Boy Scouts, salute that flag. We never once folded those flags. We only folded the ones without the fringes. So those are different jurisdictions. One's the corporation, meaning the U.S. corporation for U.S. citizens with the fringes. But the American one for the state citizen and the nationals is the one without the fringes. So without further ado, we are going to listen to this readout on what transpired with the flag.
President Dwight David Eisenhower signed Executive Order 10834 on August 21st, 1959. It is printed in the Federal Register at 24 FR 6865, pursuant to law, and says, a military flag is a flag that resembles the regular flag of the United States, except that it has a yellow fringe border on three sides.
Okay, pause, my good lady. Did you hear that? Executive order. So it's an executive flag. And executive orders come in a time of war as this is an emergency. We need to do this. Don't ask questions. But once again, that's for the corporation, not for the organic American. That's why when they issued the CVD 19, they were only talking to U.S. citizens and U.S. properties, mainly U.S. employees, those people who wish to partake. And if you don't know who and what you are, well, then you went along. You drank the Kool-Aid. Educational information only. These are just my experiences and understandings and perspectives. You do your own research. Okay? Okay. Ready for some more entertainment? So, in the Federal Register, 24 FR 6865, pursuant to law, it states that a military flag is that which resembles the regular flag of the United States. Now, here they didn't put America behind it because they assume you know it's America. But the United States definition, so the word the United States has three different definitions. One is the body politic, one is the corporation, and the other one is the geographical or continental United States of America. They're not all the same thing. They're playing word games with you. It's like the word gray and the word gray. One is G-R-E-Y, one is G-R-A-Y. Okay, these things can have different meanings. The word let's see here, drive, okay, has different meanings. It just does. So here they're saying that it looks like the regular flag of the United States, except that for that it's military and it has a border on three sides. Why not all four? Why is it gold? Now, a lot of these military people, sorry, but you guys might get your feelings hurt because I know some of you guys watch this as well. So thank you for your service. I'm not taking anything away from you. Still serve this country, though the operators of it might have not told you what's really going on. Some of you do know because I have been reached out by military officials who corroborated what I said. So thank you for that as well. Some of you guys learned this after getting out of it or on the way out, the subterfuge. Doesn't mean that the United States corporation is necessarily all bad or all evil or anything like that. We'll leave that discussion for another time. But it's the fact that they are still yet taking care of us. Now, have they made some shady deals and done some underhanded things? Oh, you bet your sweet bippy they have. But sadly, there's a cost to your freedom. but we'll leave that alone for now. They've done a lot of wonderful things and continue to support us. But in everything, even within every person, there's going to be duality, balance, good, evil, light, dark, white, black, red, blue. It's just what it is. All right, so I digress. Let's get back to it. So here, so that bams it out right there. Now let's keep going because we got a lot more reading to do.
Nation in the world accepts the law of the flag. Basically, it designates the rights under which a ship owner who sends a vessel into a foreign port functions and provides notice to those who enter into contracts with the shipmaster that he will use the law of the flag he flies to regulate contracts.
That's why you must have your own flag.
The law of the flag regulates the laws under which contracts entered into will be governed. See Rustrat versus People. In other words, Admiralty law says that when a ship flies a Spanish flag, if you sign a contract with the captain of that ship, any agreements or contracts the captain signs will fall under Spanish law unless otherwise specified. Further, there is a doctrine called for cornering a flag, according to usatherepublic.com. By the doctrine of for cornering the flag establishes the law of the country that it represents. For example, the embassies of foreign countries in Washington, D.C. are four-cornered by walls or fencing, creating an enclave. Within the boundaries of the enclave of the foreign embassy, the flag of that foreign country establishes the jurisdiction and law of that foreign country, which will be enforced by the law of the flag and international treaty. If you enter an embassy, you will be subject to the laws of that country, just as if you board a ship flying a foreign flag, you will be subject to the laws of that flag, enforceable by the master of the ship, captain. So, when you enter your local courtroom and find a yellow fringed flag, you may want to seriously question under what laws people who appear in that courtroom are being tried, the U.S. Constitution, or the U.S. military, or maritime law, or the Uniform Commercial Code, corporate law. Admiralty law tells us that when you see a flag, you need to understand that in areas where a flag is four-cornered, you are being told which laws dominate that space. We are governed by the laws of the country the flag represents.
Four-corner rules, my good people.
According to President Eisenhower, gold-fringed flag tells us we are under the rules and regulations of the military force that flies the flag. Flag martial law, pursuant to 4 U.S.C. Chapter 1, Sections 1, 2, and 3, Executive Order 10834, August 21, 1959, 24F.R.6865. A military flag is a flag that resembles the regular flag of the United States, except that it has a yellow fringe border on 3 sides. The President of the United States designates this deviation from the regular flag by executive order and in his capacity as Commander-in-Chief. Flag martial law, ancient custom sanctions the use of the fringe on regimental colors and standards, but there seems to be no good reason or precedent for its use on other flags.
Call it decorative.
Adjutant General of the Army, March 28, 1924, 1925, 34 Ops. Attorney Gen 483, 485. According to many internet sites espousing expertise involving flags, courtrooms that display fringed flags behind a judge is a military courtroom. Such a courtroom tries cases on the basis of military law. Not constitutional law, not common law, not civil law, and not statute law. According to Army regulations, AR 840-10, October 1, 1979. The flag is trimmed on 3 sides with fringe of gold, 2.5 inches wide, and such flags are flown indoors, only in military courtrooms. The gold-fringed flag only stands inside military courts that sit in summary court-martial proceedings against civilians. These courts are partially governed by local rules, more especially by the Manual of Courts Martial, U.S., 1994 ed., at Art. 99, C. 1, B, PG 4-34, PIN 030567-0000. A judge who sits under a gold or yellow fringe flag becomes the captain or master of that ship or enclave or courtroom.
Told you.
That judge has the absolute power to make the rules as he goes.
That's why they can, hold
The
on.
gold or yellow fringe.
That's why We're going to do some seminars on dealing with court and stuff like that. And that's why they can give, I won't mention any names for certain reasons and whatever. We're just going to say, we'll just say that a male of a lighter persuasion did an act upon a unconscious person, and that judge decided to give him time served because they didn't want to ruin his future. But then somebody of color, younger, was selling, uh, some homemade DVDs, and had to do um, some reparations in the form of community service and some being held in a location without his consent for an act because they can choose how they want to operate because it's their ship. The bar that you walk through, come through the bar, the little swinging door, that represents a couple of things. It represents maritime or on the water admiralty military jurisdiction. It also represents a separation between the public and then going into their private. But see, their private is so big, even though it's a PMA, a private members association, it's so big, it's called the public from their perspective. Okay. So though we are private people sitting there, that's considered the public and private, depending on your perception. So it's also like this. If you're born in Washington, D.C., you're considered a national, but then Americans are considered foreign. If you're born as an American, you are considered de jure national, but they are considered foreign legally. Though we get along together, and the law says we can be either or. So take our country to England. Okay, to us, we're nationals and they're just foreign, and it's vice versa. So there's a game being played on that there's two bubbles that have complete jurisdiction, and when they're next to each other can point at the other one and say, "This is what we believe you are. This is what we're going to call you." Okay. So anyway, that's why when you're on their ship on open seas with their fringed flag for maritime admiralty jurisdiction, they can tell you what to do because you've played the game, you've shown up, you're responding to their invite, their offers, because that's all that they are. Now, if you don't, then they're going to say, well, we're just going to rule here and, on behalf of how we think we want to rule. And we're going to give a default judgment. But they do that because you didn't send in anything to even let them know that, you didn't show up and stand the outside of the gate. And even if you do, they still have their little games and tricks that they like to play. Okay. But now you understand what's going on. They use symbolisms. They can dress professional all they want. It's still a game that they're playing that they're entitled to play within their jurisdiction.
Fringe flag warns that you are leaving your constitutional rights outside the four walls of the room where such a flag is cornered.
No different than going from here to Canada.
Is this why so many judges are appointed and not elected by the people?
Appointed,
Federal
not
judges
elected.
are appointed by the
Real
president,
officials
the
are
national
elected.
military commander-in-chief. State judges are appointed by governors, the state military commanders. Are judges appointed because the courts are military courts and civilians do not elect military officers? Under martial law, you are presumed guilty until proven innocent. That would certainly explain many court decisions, wouldn't it? Article 4, Section 3 of the Constitution of the United States of America says, no new state shall be formed or erected within the jurisdiction of any other state. So, why have the judges of state and federal courts been allowed to erect foreign enclaves within our public courthouses under a foreign flag with yellow fringe? The soil on which these courtrooms are built belongs to each of our states. Does this make sense to you? It doesn't to me. It only makes sense if the states are viewed as territories rather than states. There are other theories that maritime law gives the legal system the right to treat people as corporate assets, for example, but all of the theories come to the same conclusion. Any courtroom with a fringed flag behind the judge should be highly suspect relative to the law under which people are tried. Your job on Monday, should you accept it, for Mission Impossible fans, visit your local courtrooms and take a picture of the flag in each. Be sure the pictures document where the flag is located. Is it behind the presiding judge? The odds are very high that the flags in your courtrooms are fringed with gold. Is this an indication that the courts in your state function under maritime law? Probably. I have for years looked for reason in the decisions coming from American courtrooms, and as strange as it sounds, this makes a lot of sense and explains a lot of crazy decisions that have nothing to do with constitutional law. This opens doors of lawful activity for Tea Party groups, for all citizens, actually. Rather than protest, or sit quietly by doing nothing, take pictures of your courtrooms. Visit the links provided regarding flags and what they mean. Raise enough money to place a full-page ad in your local newspaper and publish the photos with a story. Educate the rest of the electorate as to why our courts allow corporate and government fraud and why the law seems to be interpreted differently for individuals than it does for people like Jeffrey MLTGE and the politicians.
The reason why is because the
scumbags like
government cannot step into anybody else's
When you add
private,
judges whose oaths of
commercial,
office are
government,
not
or
properly
affairs or
filed,
contracts.
see my News with Views
So
article,
we all
as
agree to the
constitutionally
Constitution.
required by the state and the federal government. You will understand why taxpayer rape is being condoned by our legal system. And here's the second project for you, should you accept it, of course. Find the names of your judges, city, county, and state. Call your county clerk and ask where the oaths of office for city and county judges can be found. Call your Secretary of State to find where each state judge's filed oath of office is located, including the state Supreme Court. These are public documents. You are entitled to copies of them. When you find a judge whose oath of office is not on file, ask for a signed statement to that effect. Bear in mind that when judges do not have a legitimately filed oath of office, every decision that person has made while on the bench is illegitimate. Most state constitutions say a public official without a filed, not just taken, legally filed, oath of office is viewed as if the office requiring the oath has been vacant. Find the exact wording of your state's constitution. Look under oaths of office regarding filed oaths.
Who's bringing that fire? Who's bringing that fire? Everybody wants to say, "Oh, get the oath of office, get the oath of office." Yeah, but you know why? Because if it's not filed, they're vacant in their office. If it's filed improperly, they're vacant in their office and negligent, fraud, deception. A lot of them, with a trick that they'll do, I'll give you guys a little tidbit from the seminar we're going to be doing on court, is that a lot of the times they will use their actor name. It will be separate and distinct. So, in other words, for it to be valid, they have to have their full name. Full first, full middle, full last. If their oath of office only has their first name, middle initial, last name, nope. Actor name. It's not there. That means that they can't do anything to judge over you. It also means that any other cases in their past up to said point, also not valid. Can't read the signature, not valid. If the seals on their documents aren't the right size, not valid. Let's go.
Publish in your advertisement about court flags what the Constitution says, along with the names of any judges who do not have one on file. Remember, district attorneys and federal judges and prosecutors take oaths of office, too. President Dwight David Eisenhower signed
Oh, wait.
In other words, Admiralty.
You already did that part. Why are you acting all weird on me now? one moment while we deal with some technical difficulties.
There are other theories that your job on this opens doors of lawful activity for Tea Party groups, all citizens, actually. Rather than protest or sit quietly by doing nothing, take pictures of your courtrooms. Visit the links provided regarding flags and what they mean. Raise enough money to place a full-page ad in your local newspaper and publish the photos with a story. Educate the rest of the electorate as to why our courts allow corporate and government fraud and why the law seems to be interpreted differently for individuals than it does for people like Jeffrey Immelt, GE, and the politicians who support scumbags like him.
That's the report,
You
not
add
me
judges
saying that
whose oaths of
information.
office are not
I
properly
take no
filed.
responsibility.
See
No
my News
defamation
with
of
Views
character here.
article. It's constitutionally required by the state and the federal government. You will understand why taxpayer rape is being condoned by our legal system. And here's the second project for you, should you accept it, of course. Find the names of your judges, city, county, and state. Call your county clerk and ask where the oaths of office for city and county judges can be found. Call your Secretary of State to find where each state judge's filed oath of office is located, including the state Supreme Court. These are public documents.
Oh, okay. Okay, so we covered all that. All right, so it must have started back over, hence why we got
President Dwight David.
All right, so now you guys know the inside track on what's going on with the flag. It's all about jurisdiction. That's the whole thing, guys. Let's see if I can fix my camera here. Booyah, it's a little better. So it's jurisdiction. It's just business. Everybody, people want to get mad. I guess I've been in this long enough to not really be mad, though. Sometimes I get aggravated by having to deal with it because once you know what's going on, but then you have to convince these people who are pulling the strings. They think they're untouchable. They've got their insurances and they got immunity, and it can get aggravating. But at the end of the day, you can't let that be what stops you. Chop, chop, chop. You just have to keep hitting them, keep hitting them, keep hitting them till you knock them down. Make them understand that this is what it is. Because a lot of these low-level functionaries, they don't know what you know, and they don't want to believe you. A lot of them are sitting here thinking that they're Americans and patriots, and you're the one that's wrong for wanting to not pay taxes or wanting to live privately. That sounds like sovereign citizen stuff to me. Which, by the way, if you see anybody using any of my videos, likenesses, or names, and any kind of events or way, video descriptions, narratives, or whatever else, calling me such, please report their video and their channel. Thank you in advance. All right. As always, you guys can check out more information on me and this information, et cetera, educational purposes only on blacksite32.com. Please feel free to add my backup channel. I'm going to be on there more so once we hit 3,000 in the year 3,000. In the year 3,000. Anyway, so yeah, join me over there because I'm going to talk about everything, not just this stuff. This channel is just for this kind of stuff. As you see, there's lots of other books and lots of other things that you guys probably should know. So I'm going to give it to you, okay? Everything from health to aliens, technology, immortality, weird things, pyramids, whatever. That's going to be the main channel. So though I have a number of other channels, those are backup channels. So there's only two main ones, James C Lovett and then the Badwolf Media channel. I am on other platforms, so feel free to go to Blacksite32, hit my social media page on Blacksite32, That's what it's called, social media. And then you can see all the other places that I'm at. This way, and make sure you follow the ones with the correct spellings, because there are people out there pretending to be me and stars and whoever else trying to scam people. Never send anybody money, people. If that person is not willing to get on the phone and hear their voice, and send you a picture holding up some numbers, so you can prove that it's really me, don't be sending somebody that money. Everything I do is through Black Site 32, period. Okay. So stop getting scammed out there by scumbags. Yeah, I said it. Um, what else? That's pretty much it. Talk to you guys later. I got some more videos to make. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Have a great holiday season. Take care of yourselves and each other. And cut. All right. Video's over. Let's figure out, was it lunchtime? I should probably eat. That sounds like a good idea.